It's time for the Billy Flynn Experience.
Thank you so much for joining another Billy Flynn Experience. I am your host, Billy Flynn. Thank you so much for listening, for tuning in, coming live here from Germany. Hope everyone's having a wonderful start of the new week. Some pretty interesting things. And I was on a TikTok the other day. And yeah, I got a TikTok account, but this particular day I was just looking at other people's content subject. Came across this gentleman. Let me see what is his name. Goes by the name of King D. King D. You could look him up on TikTok if you're into that sort of thing. But he has a lot of interesting content, mainly about relationship. And it was this one particular subject he was talking about. It was referring to not ever moving in to a woman's house, meaning not moving in with her into her own home. And I found it very interesting. I got a clip of it. I want you to listen to this.
And don't ever move into a woman's spot. Don't ever let a woman convince you to sell your shit or convince you to get rid of your spot to move to her shit. Because it's really going to be bad. If a woman is asking you to move into her spot, she plan on taking advantage of you. She plan on treating you like crap. Because women typically don't like you to move in their shit because they want to feel like they got the upgrade. Women love to see men in their element doing their own thing. And they want to come and be a part of that. Anytime a woman is trying to take you out of that element where you thrive in it, you clearly thriving, you should always side eye that. If she comes into this space and she sees that I'm in my element and this is how I'm thriving in my space, is everything set, everything on go, everything is all motion, everything is all progression, and she tries to remove you from that element, she trying to get you, brother.
Now, what he's saying, first of all, it's nothing negative. It's nothing negative or bashing women. I don't want to really get into that aspect of it, but it's not about bashing women, and it's nothing negative, I would say. But it's more or less, as I was listening to his podcast, it made me think when I was younger, and I did the same exact thing. And at the time, I never had any experience with moving in with a woman. Excuse me. But from that, because I didn't have any experience, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. And of course, love was involved for what I thought what love was then. And even now. But it was, when I was listening to his podcast, I was thinking, that was the exact same thing I did. And I wish at the time that I had someone that was older and experienced in this, dating game that could have gave me the red flags. And this is very important for content creators that are on TikTok, because or YouTube, because there's a younger generation of young men that need this type of guidance, because a lot of young men don't have fathers. They may have male role models in the home, but I don't think that they're taking the younger sibling under their wing and to guide them through this maze. I mean, this is crazy. It's crazy now. The dating game is crazy now. But as I was saying, I was listening to his podcast, and I was thinking about what happened, and it happened to me. Story time. It happened to me. I was younger, much younger. Met a young lady, dated her for about maybe 6 months. And I remember as I was sitting there, I was like, yeah, and this was when I was in Atlanta, Georgia. I was living in Atlanta, Georgia. Had a very, very, very good job. At the time, there's this area called Buckhead. And it's a very, very nice area to live in. And I wasn't living inside of Buckhead. I was like right on the edge of the city of Buckhead, or the little area of Buckhead in Atlanta. And I had a very, very nice place. I was doing my thing. No financial issues, no problems, no dramas. But, I met this young lady. We started dating for 6 months. It got kind of serious, and she had bought a house. She bought a house, and where she I don't remember what city. This was so long ago, but it was outside of Atlanta. If anyone is familiar with Atlanta, you know about the perimeter. I think it's 285. It's called a perimeter. It's a large expressway that circles the city of Atlanta. And then you have outside of the perimeter, you have the other cities and suburbs or whatever. So she stayed outside of the perimeter. So it was like maybe a half-hour drive on a good day when there wasn't any traffic. So she lived very far from where I lived, in other words. So she put that bug in my ear about moving in with her. And again, because of the fact that I had no experience, I should have known better, because I wasn't that young, but I should have known better. But because of the fact that I didn't know any better, because I thought love and sex and everything else was in the mix, it clouded my judgment, it clouded my mind. Stupid me, what did I do? Again, I had a really nice place. Really nice place. No bills or anything. I was living good. I was living really, really good. And I gave it all up. Got rid of everything. My furniture. The place that I was living. All the wonderful amenities in that the vicinity of that area. And I gave it all up. And I moved in with this young lady. In a relationship, like I said, we were dating for 6 months, and I think the relationship lasted another 6 months before she kicked me out. She told me one day she didn't feel as though the relationship was going anywhere. She wanted me to leave. And I was shocked, but I wasn't shocked. It was one of those situations where it's like, oh, okay. And that's pretty much how I handled it. There were red flags popping up. There was red flags from the start that I didn't pay attention to. And that, hence, never move in with a woman into her own place. Always keep your identity. Always keep what your ideal of a castle is. A man's home is his castle. Whether he's with a spouse or whether he's by himself, it is his castle, it is his domain, it is his sanctuary. And of course I didn't, again, my mind wasn't there. And it's very interesting that even now that I date, I would never move in with a woman. Never. Well, unless we were married or getting married, of course. But before that, no. And because of that mentality, because of that direct ideology that I focused on, I've lost out on relationships in the past because of that very thing. I was like, no, we're not moving in together. They didn't want to marry. Actually, we never really talked about marriage. I don't even want to get into that subject, but that wasn't even on the table. So I never did it. So it's almost like reaching out to the younger men, the younger generation, and how it's so important for them to get this information, because a lot of them don't know. A lot of them don't have that mentor in their lives to guide them through this maze. It's not only in dating, but just the maze of life. But anyways, that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. But again, I found the TikTok content creator very interesting. And like I said, if you're on TikTok or maybe Instagram, or if you're into that sort of thing, like I said, you could look into him, look him up. His name is King D. Very insightful young gentleman. So, once again, thank you so much for joining me here today. Wish everyone a wonderful, wonderful, productive week. Take care of yourself. Until next time.